President Cyril Ramaphosa has barely finished his State of the Nation address when the DA announced it was taking the national state of disaster on energy to court. The opposition was unconvinced by the president's speech emphasizing his administration's efforts to repair the economy. In late January, the governing ANC National Executive Committee Legotla declared an electricity national state of disaster. According to a statement issued after the meeting, the National Executive Committee Legotla encouraged the President of the Republic to declare a national state of disaster, which will also require that the ANC reconnect with our communities and society. When President Cyril Ramaphosa declared a national state of disaster during his State of the Nation address speech yesterday, saying that in a time of crisis, we need a single point of command and a single line of march, the opposition benches erupted in applause. The DA had briefed its lawyers even before Ramaphosa finished his 8,210-word speech. A national state of disaster under the guise of dealing with the load-shedding crisis will similarly empower the ANC to abuse procurement processes and issue nonsensical regulations that have nothing to do with the energy crisis. The DA will not stand by and watch the ANC use the electricity disaster it created to loot and further abuse the people of South Africa, DA leader John Steenhuisen said in a statement. Given the extent of tender and the procurement corruption in the 2-year COVID-19 state of disaster and lockdown, the potential declaration of an electricity state of disaster has sparked concern across business and civil society. There are also concerns about how the state of disaster would help to resolve South Africa's energy crisis given the availability of existing legislative routes for emergency funding and procurement regulatory relief. In a decisive State of the Nation address, the ANC, on the other hand, welcomed the declaration of the state of disaster. The president has made it clear that given the country's challenges, it cannot be business as usual. This State of the Nation address is about finding hope in the midst of despair. It's about demonstrating a way out of these crises, ANC National Chairperson Malengi Bengu said. And the ANC's alliance partner, the Labour Federation COSATU, was upbeat and cautious. While the state of disaster should be used to provide Eskom with all necessary assistance, the budget later this month is needed to finalize the details of reducing the Eskom debt by 50% and also empower the government to deal with the coal cartels that are hobbling the power utility with their corrupt tendencies, it stated in a statement. According to COSATU, this also applied to other State of the Nation address pledges. What the State of the Nation address said is useful only if the budget funds it. Undermining citizens' rights, Business Leadership South Africa expressed concern about the state of disaster, describing it as concerning in the context of the overreach and undermining of the citizens' rights that occurred during the COVID-19 state of disaster, as well as corruption in pandemic-related tenders. It appears that the Auditor Royal General's in preventing a repeat is being approached with caution. The Business Leadership South Africa believes that many of the above measures could be effectively implemented without declaring a state of disaster, it said. According to an analyst, new centralized power and routes for corruption should be on the lookout when state of disaster regulations are gazetted. The state of disaster is dangerous and the new Minister of Electricity is insane and will add to the confusion. The state of disaster was unnecessary contrary to legal advice and civil servants' wishes. The ANC may have applauded Ramaphosa's appointment of an electricity minister, but opposition parties dismissed it. The question was whether a rail minister would be appointed if the rails failed. A minister of pit latrines or a minister of potholes will be similar. However, the ministers of the presidency, mineral resources and energy welcomed the addition to the cabinet. This minister is almost like a crisis project manager. This is the correct approach, Mineral Resources and Energy Minister Gwede Mantashe told the media immediately after the State of the Nation address. Mantashe was a driving force behind Ramaphosa's refusal to resign following the recommendation of an impeachment inquiry into the Pala Forex scandal and that the ANC elective conference in December 2022.